What's up, you guys? So that sound you just heard is the sound we're gonna be making, and I'm really quick gonna show you another example of that patch. So that was like one way I used that patch I just made, and this is another way I used it. So just kind of trying to give you some ideas of what you could use this for. So yeah, just kind of, this is more riffy, and this over here is more, it's more of a rhythmic offset. So, and I'll show you what notes I'm playing this at, so you could follow along on your keyboard and play along as we make this in Massive. So I'm playing this at like a F2, so it's I'm playing it very low on my keyboard, and same with this. I'm playing this everywhere from F2 to F3. So. And also I'm overlapping like two notes that are octave apart, so F2 and F3. I'm playing those at the same time to make this sound. So now let's get into Massive. So it's very easy. I didn't do anything else. As you can see, it's just Massive and a sidechain compressor. So this sound is totally based in inside of Massive, and you don't need any external plugins to make this sound. So first thing you want to do is go to File and New Sound, so you have a blank patch, and let's get into voicing. So first off, we're not doing anything in the oscillator tab, so we can ignore that. In voicing, we're going to want to set max to 16 and this one over here to 9, and then you just want to make sure you're in this first box and trigger is on always. We're going to want to turn on the pan position and set it right around here, so it's not all the way stereo inverted, and it's not mono like all the way, so it's kind of like it's centered but has a little wideness to it. So that's why I set it to right there in between these two values. And then you're going to want to turn on the pitch cutoff and just bring it all the way to the right and set it, this right here, this box, to 0.06. So just do that, and let's move on now to, excuse me, I'm burping again. Let's go to Oscillator 1. So Oscillator 1 is just a escalation 2. Make sure it's you keep it on spectrum, turn up your wavetable, intensity, and amp up all the way. And you're going to want to do that for all the other oscillators too, so just make sure that all the parameters are up all the way. And you're going to leave filter 1, you're going to leave this box in between filter 1 and 2 on all of these oscillators. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring these all down 1 octave, so each of these oscillators are down 1 octave, and then you're going to drop in a envelope 1 into all these boxes underneath, set those down to 1 octave down as well. So a quick way to do that, if you hold down Option if you're on Mac, or Alt if you're on PC, while clicking on one of these boxes, you can quickly go up and down octaves. So you can see I'm going from 4 octaves up to negative 4 octaves in like a second, you know. So it's much quicker than, you know, clicking in a value or, you know, moving it with the mouse. So just hold down Option or Alt while in this box, and you can do that real quick. So once you set all these things up, just make sure that Oscillator 2 is a synformant sound and Oscillator 3 is a guitar pulse wave. So after that, you just move on to the Modulation Oscillator. You're going to want to set pitch down to negative 0.15. You're going to want to bring in that envelope 1 again, bring it down an octave. Then we're going to select phase. We're going to select Oscillator 1 to phase, and we're just going to set that right around there. And then we're going to go to the noise amp. So you're just going to want to bring in some white noise and bring color and amp up all the way, and just leave it between filter 1 and 2. If you also want to try tape hiss, amp noise, and water pipes, I also did like those, and high metallic is kind of cool. So any of those will kind of work and give you different little differences, but I preferred white noise at the end of the day. So feedback, you're just going to want to have a little bit of feedback, so this line is kind of pointing at the bottom of this arrow, and that's that. So let's just do our inserts real quick. So insert 1 is just a parabolic shaper. You're just going to bring drive up all the way and just double click on this knob to put the dry wet straight down the middle. Same with insert 2, just double click on dry wet to set it to the middle and drive up all the way, except this is a hard clipper. So once you've done all that, let's go to filters. So filter 1 is a low pass 4. You're just going to bring cutoff up all the way, have the reso almost straight down the middle, slightly down from straight down the middle, so kind of pointing at the O. And filter 2 is a scream filter, so you're just going to want to set cut off up all the way, scream right around almost all the way up, and reso just slightly up from being all the way down. And make sure that both of these, you could put these all the way up, it doesn't matter. And make sure you're in parallel and not anywhere else in this little thing right here. And just make sure you're between mix and 1 and 2. Now for FX, I'll do FX and then I'll get into the envelopes. So for FX1, you're just going to have a Bronner tube, so the one all the way at the bottom. You're going to bring, you want to bring drive up all the way, set dry wet slightly, you want this line pointing at the W. And for reverb, for FX2, you're just going to add that reverb, have the dry wet sit around here, and size kind of around there. So if you want to play with density and color, go ahead. I didn't mess around with it too much. And let's do our envelope 1. So what we're going to want to do with our envelope 1 is we're going to want to bring this attack down. It's not all the way down, but it's very close to being all the way down. And then you're going to want to bring this level up all the way. Decay, so we're pointing around there. Level is all the way down. And release is kind of around here. So you just want this peak to be right under the D. So once it's under the D, you did it right. And then let's do envelope 4. So that's the one that controls our amp. So we're gonna set envelope 4. We're gonna want to have the release around here. So I'm just gonna go backwards with this. You're gonna want to set release around here. Level is up all the way. Decay is all the way down. This level is up all the way, and attack is almost all the way down, but it's slightly up. So once you have this line right here in between the V and the E and del of delete, then you've done it right. And someone was asking me the other day what loops does inside of envelopes and massive, so or how to use them, and I guess I can quickly explain that. So to turn on the loops, you just click on this box and you set a loop, and what a loop does is it loops from this point to this point the number of times you set it here. So this will loop 5 times, and if you want to have it on infinite, it will just keep going forever and forever and forever. And then you can morph different like waves and such, like you gotta have level down a little bit, so you can see that it's morphing between these different like waves, and using the morph function you can morph in between those. And then S loop dictates how long the loop is, so that's kind of what you do with that. And I'll just show you that there's a bunch of cool things you could do. So this is really handy for like dubstep producers that are getting sick of using their performers and LFOs on the cutoffs. You could just use these envelopes, and you can make infinite loops of that. So that's how you use those, just quickly throwing that in there. So let's see, where was I? Oh, routing. Let's get into routing. So I did change 1 or 2 things in the routing section. So I just put my insert 1 before filter 1, and I put insert 2 after right here. So it does change the sound a little bit. And I set the B right here into FX1, and feedback is after the amp and pan. So I think that's everything I did. Just want to make sure I talked about everything. So let's see, we did blah 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 blah. Okay, so we covered it all. So that's it, you guys. Just want to say real quick, since YouTube is kind of very different now since the Google Plus change, and since I have like 80 videos, and a lot of you guys leave comments and leave requests for me to do, but I can't always see them all because the way I get notifications through Google is kind of messed up still. So if you really want me to do a request, just tweet at me, and I'll most likely do it if it's on my Twitter, because if you guys are tweeting at me, which is kind of what I want you guys to do, then I'll do that for sure. But if it's on YouTube, then there's a slight chance I might not see that comment, or it might get buried down, because I get a lot of comments a day across 80 videos, so it's hard to remember where that request was, so I can go back to it later, or a lot of things. So if you want me to do a request, for sure tweet at me. I made my Twitter account like last week, and a few of you have added me, but I still have like very little followers, and that's kind of embarrassing. So be sure to tweet at me, and I'll follow you guys back. And follow me on the Google Plus circles for like for more exclusive stuff. It's like all my YouTube videos are there on one page, and you can see what else I've been liking and talking about on YouTube there. So thanks guys, thanks for watching, and peace out.